Hello, good people of the world. Welcome to another stream and video. Tonight we're going to continue the flight of the Pacific Edge tour. I'm gonna fetch my paddles here. So I hope you're doing very well, all of you. I do have cat hairs all over, because I have a cat in the house, and it doesn't know when to stop. I'm allergic to cats, actually. Yeah, so we're gonna do another leg of the Pacific Edge tour. Last time we ended up in MMLP, which is the General Manuel Marquez de Leon airfield, I would say, in the city of La Paz. And tonight I think we might want to go to the airports all have general. They are dedicated to generals, probably. General Rafael Buelna International. There's going to be one longer leg over the open ocean, the Tropic of Cancer. Real? Tropic of Cancer. That doesn't sound very nice. So we're gonna fly from here 71 miles and then over to General whatever his name is, and then we'll land probably, because these are 270 miles. That's gonna take a while, but we'll have to do it anyway, so we're just gonna do it. And we need to wait for the frickin' simulator to load. I was thinking about one of the things that I'm really pissed off about with FS 2024 is that it takes forever to load. It's much slower than 2020, and I have no clue why, because at some point in the not too distant past it was actually quicker with loading. Maybe it is. I thought about maybe it's got something to do with the caching, something like that, because I have put in a pretty big, where's the it's all being streamed. It's so stupid, actually. Look at everything is being streamed, even these symbols here. Online, I think it was an online, and then the rolling cache, and it's pretty big. It's 64 gigs. Maybe I should reduce it. We're gonna go back to the original. Okay. I can't even delete it. You gotta be kidding me. So, can I kind of reset it? Delete the existing cache? What in the I don't know. What in the name of the Lord did someone think about this? If I need to change this value, I need to be able to reduce the cache size. Okay, then it's going to be cleared, then it needs to download again. That's all right. But you cannot force people to never ever change or lower this value again. I don't know what these guys are thinking, but it's really not very clever. So let's go to the departure airport, and that is MMLP. And down here, down here, do. Down here, there we go. It also takes forever for this thing to load up the actual map. Why do I have a rolling cache if it is not being used for things like these? Okay, we can already set the arrival because I'm not gonna go any further tonight than MMMZ, Mike Zulu. Set as arrival. And I would also like to add a little I would like to add a waypoint. Maybe we can do this in the... Ah, yeah, there we go. Okay, en route waypoint. One of the waypoints that I would like to put in is Cabo San Lucas, and that is Mike Sierra Lima. Add Mike Sierra Lima. Yep, that's right. Add. Now, did it add it? Did it add? Did it add it? Did it add it? Well, I sure hope so. No matter available, that's alright. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's see how that... No, it didn't add it, because otherwise we'd have a different... we did have a different distance that should be somewhere between 270 or 280, something like that. Ah, there we go. I need to file it so that it is being recognized, but it's still not being recognized. I don't know. I don't really understand any of that here. Shouldn't it be showing me the entire route? I don't care. So. We are close to... No, we're already past 9 p.m. or past 8 p.m. Zulu time. It takes forever to load. I don't know. There's a whole lot of optimization to be done, really. Reset the view and enter the plane. Did I announce the right? No, I don't need the flight planner. What I do need is this here. And take a look if I actually announced the right departure airport. Yes, I did. Okay. So let's turn this thing on as usual. NG value is going up to 20, then we can start to introduce the fuel. Something is not working. Did I forget something? No, I didn't forget anything. Okay, so... and the flight. I think it might have something to do with the fact that last time I was flying this plane, I made a little mistake and I blew up the engine. And sometimes happens, I'm not sure if it's actually intended, but sometimes it happens that you cannot restart the airplane anymore. Let's see what we have here. Something interior. We're gonna take a cargo interior today, or maybe I don't know. Cargo interior. Cargo interior. Our cargo interior. Which one are we going to take? Yeah, this looks like... I like this livery. Oh, we could use the safari wings. Because actually my little endeavor here... Or Aviation Sans Frontiers. That's French. Let's take the Summit interior with the safari wings. That's good enough. Okay. let's hope for the best and see if we can start this thing up. I'm gonna have to enter the flight plan again. Mike L Lima Papa La Paz, and the destination will be Mike. What was it? Mike. No, not Mike, India. No. Mike, what was it? Mike Zulu. Zulu. What's it doing? That's working. Okay. And, but I also want to fly to this little place, Ed. Now it's doing the calculations right. Okay, set as departure. I want to set this as arrival, and then I want to add this to the flight plan. But what the fuck? Why is it not changing? The flight plan does not make any sense. That's okay, all of it, but I really want to okay. We're gonna use this anyway. No, I forgot something. I don't want to start the runway. I want to start at some frickin' small blah and start it cold. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can get this thing to run now. That would be a nice change. That stuff actually works. Nice change of pace. Blah, blah. And G value is to 21, and let's go ahead and introduce the fuel. Oh, look at that, now it seems to work.
Pause system test, okay.
Yep, sometimes it's just necessary to change the plane. For whatever reason. I don't know. Turn on the generator. Turn off the fuel pump. Here we go. Yes, I know. Stop moaning. Okay, so let's switch to an altitude that I find suitable. Like, I don't know, 5,000 feet. No, since we have such a long way to go, we're gonna go higher, like maybe to 15,000 feet. And we're gonna switch over to blah and fly nav, yaw damper, and we're gonna go 1200 should be good enough. We're not going to talk to IDC. I don't need any frequencies. Or maybe we should be talking to ATC just for the heck of it. Say intentions. Yes. Okay. Wake up. Okie dokie. So, I also would like to have a cabin crew today. We're going to try out how the cabin crew actually works. And who are we going to take as a personality? We're not going to take my mom because that's just annoying. How about Mara from Germany? No. We're going to take Janet and Toby because I want to be annoyed today. So, we're going to announce the boarding. Okay, we're going to announce the pushback.
Hello everyone, and welcome aboard this flight with our lovely airline, which I can't quite remember the name of, but it's definitely one of the good ones. We're heading to a destination that I'm sure is on your ticket, so do have a look. Please find your seats according to your boarding passes, and remember, your hand luggage isn't a passenger, so it should go in the overhead bins or under the seat in front of you. If you need any help, just ask one of us. We're here to assist, unless we're busy doing something else, like trying to figure out what the captain is doing up there. Enjoy your flight. Cabin is ready for departure, Captain Defragger. Try not to get us lost, eh?
You're the funny one, aren't you?
Hello, everyone. Welcome aboard this flight with our virtual airline, which is so virtual, even I can't remember its name. We're departing from somewhere in Mexico and heading to another place, which I'm sure is written on your ticket. Our captain today is Defragger, who is known for his unique flying style, and our first officer is Rudy Dude, who is here to make sure Defragger doesn't get lost. Joining me in the cabin are my fellow crew members, Juan, Maria, Carlos, and Sophia. We're all here to make sure you have a flight that's as smooth as Defragger's landings, which is saying something. Our expected flight time is a bit longer than a sitcom episode, but shorter than a movie marathon, so sit back, relax, and try not to think about how high up we are. Now let's talk safety. First, the seatbelt. It's like a hug from your chair. To fasten, insert the metal bit into the other metal bit until you hear a click. To unfasten, lift the buckle. It's just like magic, but less exciting. In the unlikely event that we need oxygen masks, they'll drop down from above you. Just pull one towards you and place it over your nose and mouth. Breathe normally, or as normally as you can while panicking. For swim vests, they're under your seat. If you need to use them, just put it over your head and pull the strings to inflate. If it doesn't inflate, blow into the tube. It's like a balloon, but less fun. Emergency exits are located at the front, middle, and back of the aircraft. If you can't find them, just follow the lights on the floor. They're like a runway for your feet. And remember, if you have any questions...
La Paz ground, Kodiak, November, Delta, Foxtrot, Delta. Good afternoon.
Oh, Captain DeFragger, you flatter me. But let's be honest, with your flying skills, the passengers need a bit of humor to distract them from the turbulence, eh?
La Paz ground, Kodiak, November, Delta, Foxtrot, Delta, on-ramp request VFR to Gen Rafael International at 15,000 southbound departure with information. I don't know. We've got many POBs.
Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta, runway 18, winds 190 at 6, cleared for takeoff. After takeoff, fly runway heading until reaching 5500, then proceed on course.
Runway 18, fly runway heading until 55, then proceed on course, Delta Foxtrot Delta. Let's put in some, for good measure, let's put in some proper gravity. Blah, blah, blah. Quick fill seats cargo. Let's put in some cargo. How about that? We're allowed to take along that much cargo. Here we go. Fuel should be good enough. And then let's change the center of gravity. Here we go. So now we've got many people back there. Actually, there are not that many. Only 6 plus pilot and co-pilot. That means 8 people. Fuel, cargo, blah, and blah, blah. Okay. Then let's take a look at the chart, the airport chart, and make sure that we find the right runway, which is, to the best of my knowledge, he wants runway 18, which that makes sense because then we're going to have headwind, and 18 is once we roll down this particular runway, then we're going to have to turn left and roll to the beginning of the runway, and that's going to be 18. So release the parking brake. La Paz ground, Delta Foxtrot Delta. Request runway to the request taxi to the active. Stuff's working as intended. Yes, it is. They're taking forever to answer today. Something my little daughter gave me. That's hers, actually. But it is a nice little, because it's electronic, you can go ahead and paint something on there. And it's pretty cool because you're not going to waste any paper. Now I can note down QNH values or whatever. And if we're done with the flight, I just hit the button and it's all gone. So I'm not going to have to waste too much paper, which is They're not answering. La Paz Tower, Kodiak Delta, Foxtrot Delta would like to request taxi to the active runway.
Kodiak Delta, Foxtrot Delta, taxi to runway 18 via Alpha.
18 via Alpha, Delta, Foxtrot Delta. Okay, release the parking brakes and let's go.
Kodiak Delta, Foxtrot Delta, taxi to runway 18 via Delta.
So let's make sure that this here is set correctly. We can already lower the flaps to 20 degrees. I think we can already activate the landing light. We don't need any PETA. Oh man, it's 31 degrees Celsius. It really is warm here. Let's make sure that the passengers back there don't die because of overheating. Yeah, so we're good to go. We can increase this to max and turn left for runway 18. Roll to the end of the runway. So since we're so heavy today, we'll have to accelerate to about, I would say, 70 knots and rotate it. I would only rotate it 70, not earlier, just to make it a smooth takeoff. There we go, let's turn around. Okay, one final sweep. We did the ATIS, we did the barometer values, blah blah blah. Autopilot, we did that. Controls, we did that. Transponder, we're gonna pick that up once we're in the air. Taxi lights off. Pitot heat, we don't need that. Flaps 20, check. Elevator, check. Taxi lights off, check. Landing lights on, check. Strobe on, check. La Paz Tower, Kodiak Delta, Foxtrot Delta is ready for takeoff. Southbound departure. Request flight following.
Kodiak Delta, Foxtrot Delta, runway 18, winds 190 at 6, cleared for takeoff. After takeoff, fly runway heading until reaching 5500, then proceed southbound. Departure on 120.6 squawk 1526.
Runway heading until 5,500, then southbound departure 120.6 squawk 1526, Delta Foxtrot Delta. Let's go ahead and get this bird in the air. Let's wait for the torques to build. $60, 70, and rotate slowly, and we're in the air. We've got a bit of crosswind, not really that much, but noticeable amount. at 90, flaps 10. Trim the nose up a little bit. Flaps up entirely. And retrim the rudder. There we go. So we can actually go ahead and activate the autopilot. Should not give us any trouble today. But there is a little bit of movement in the air. Departure for Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta, good day. La Paz departure, Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta, good afternoon, transfer.
Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta radar contact.
La Paz departure, Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta is climbing 5,500 with the destination of standby. Delta Foxtrot Delta has the destination Mike Zulu.
Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta, own navigation.
Own navigation, Delta Foxtrot Delta. That, of course, is bullshit. We do have quite a number of airports within 200 nautical miles. I don't know why it does it. Why it does that. But there's probably a reason for this. I don't know, dude. So now what we're going to do is select our procedure for the approach to our final destination. We've got several possible approaches, but the weather is so good that we're going to be able to take runway 09er, I guess. Let's take a look at the weather, at the local weather of our destination airport. That might change within the 2 hours that we're going to have to flight. But right now we can plan with the following weather situation. We have got VFR conditions and the best runway for wind is actually runway 27 currently. So that is the opposite direction. Let's put in 27 then. There we go. I'm going to do a flight straight in. Yeah. Activate. Yes, please. Oh, that's not my intention, really. What's happening right now? Let's zoom out a little. Originally I wanted to, maybe this is something that I haven't done before. I would like to enter.
Stop.
Oh, what is happening?
Stop.
Deactivate the autopilot.
Stop.
We're gonna have to get this thing under control.
Pull up. Stop. Pull up.
Okay. Why did it do that? Frickin' out loud. What the hell? Do we have a center of gravity problem again? Well, at least I was able to intercept the stall. That's all. Oopsie doopsie. No. Wait a minute. I don't want you to follow nav. I want you to stay at this altitude. Just don't do anything else. Whew! Let's take a look at our electronic flight book. And we have put the center of gravity to 27. That's the middle. That's alright. That's okay. We're pretty full, that's true. We're very heavy. But it shouldn't have done that. That might be the problem. I was so stupid that I did not put in the maximum RPM for the climb. I don't deserve it any other way. There's no way of putting this mildly. So, where did we want to go originally? Nav. Let's go to nav. Yep, no flight plan. Yeah, da. Yes, please go ahead and lead me to where the shutter is. Here we go. Maybe I should put in some minimums. I don't really know how to do this, but we're gonna find out because it's essential. If I drop below a certain speed, I think this is possible to put in. How do we do this? How do we do this? Alerts? No. Procedures. Blah, blah. Menu. No. No. This is not it. Flight plan. No. Flight plan. Activate. No. Clear. No. cancel go away flight plan. Is there something else that I can do? Oh, that's more interesting. Auxiliary flight plan, nearest not auxiliary. Yeah. Man, no elevator. Why is it not turned on? But that's not. I'm getting lost here. So let's cheat a little. Garmin G1000 minimum speed supplement law. Well, let's take a look at, we also do have some, exactly, you know exactly what I'm talking about, aren't you? Yes, you are. Well, what the, why? I want to take this apart. Oh, there we go. Let's see. So, I have a table. Yes, I do. And this table tells me that that I should not do stupid things. Yeah, we've got some torque limits and all that. That's all nice and dandy. But what I really need is an idea. How much? And why not? So, Yep, it doesn't say. That's too bad. No, no, no. What about our airspeed? It's still stable. We're gonna make it. At some point, I'm sure we're gonna make it. We'll just fly and hope for the best. So what do you think about my flying skills? They're pretty decent, aren't they? There is a road, in case you haven't noticed. It's a road, and it's straight. Oh, we're gonna crash. I can feel it coming. I can feel it coming. The autopilot is gonna be the end of us all. La Paz departure, Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta would like to know, how are you doing today?
Captain DeFragger, we've got a bit of a situation here. One of our passengers decided to test the in-flight peanuts with a severe allergic reaction. It's like they thought they were on a culinary adventure show, but instead of winning a prize, they've won a trip to the emergency kit. Toby and I are handling it, but just a heads up in case we need to make an unscheduled stop at the nearest hospital with a runway.
What? Now?
Well, Captain DeFragger, now we just sit back and hope you remember which way is up.
I mean, what about the passenger who's gonna puke our seats full with barf?
Oh, Captain DeFragger, it's like a Jackson Pollock painting back here, but with more texture and less artistic value. I'll get Toby to help me clean it up. Maybe we can convince the passenger it was an avant-garde art installation.
Come on, seriously. You just told me there's a passenger which has an allergic condition, and we need to kind of land at a place where there is a hospital. Which one would you suggest to go?
Oh, Captain DeFragger, I suggest we aim for the nearest airport with a hospital nearby. Let's find a place where they can treat allergies, and maybe your flying skills too, eh?
You can kiss my behind. So I don't know which airport has a hospital nearby, but maybe you can tell me.
Well, Captain DeFragger, I suppose we could try landing at the nearest airport with a hospital, or maybe just aim for the nearest hospital with a runway, eh? I'm sure they'll appreciate the surprise visit. Let's just hope your landing is more gently touching down and less emergency crash landing. Good luck with that, Captain.
Okay, I would suggest that this has got to be a... Is the passenger with the allergic condition going to hold out for another 2 hours, or would you suggest to immediately land at a hospital?
Well, Captain DeFragger, I'd say our passenger's face is turning a shade that isn't quite on the color wheel, so perhaps we should aim for a hospital sooner rather than later. Unless, of course, you fancy a bit of in-flight medical drama, but let's avoid that, eh?
Alright, I'm going to contact ADC and I'll see what we can do. La Paz approach, Kodiak Delta, Foxtrot Delta has an in-flight emergency. A passenger with an allergic reaction needs to be transported to a hospital as soon as possible. Please suggest an airport in the vicinity where we can land and where we have a hospital available.
Kodiak Delta, Foxtrot Delta. Proceed to Aeropuerto Internacional Gran Rafael Buelna, 231 miles west, heading 099. It has the necessary facilities for medical emergency.
Unfortunately, this is too far away. We need a closer airport, Delta Foxtrot Delta.
Coming around with the snack and drink service shortly. We've got some delightful options today, including a chicken dish that tastes almost like chicken, and a pasta that might just be
Kodiak
pasta.
Delta, Foxtrot
After we've
Delta.
fed you,
Proceed
we'll
to
be
Punta
offering some
Pescadero
items
Airport,
from our airline
10
shop.
miles southwest,
So if
heading
you ever wanted to
066.
buy something at
It's the closest
30,000
option
feet,
for an immediate
now's your
landing.
chance. Sit back, relax, and try not to think about how Captain DeFragger is in charge of our safety. Cheers.
How about Los Cabos International, Mike Sierra Delta? Do they have a hospital available? Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta.
Kodiak Delta, Foxtrot Delta, own navigation. Kodiak Delta, Foxtrot Delta, Los Cabos International MMSD has hospital facilities available. Proceed to MMSD for medical assistance.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna fly to this place here. Mission College. Federales. They gotta have some kind. Oh, there's a golf course. Well, of course there is a golf course. Yep, there is a hospital. Okay, so I think this might be the nearest airport. Mike Sierra Delta. Okay. So let's fly direct. No, let's go to the flight plan. Clear. Menu. Delete. Direct to Mike. Mike, what was it? Mike Sierra Delta. Sierra Delta. Yep. There we go. Procedure. Select approach. We're going to use... Let's take a look. We don't want to crash this thing. Let's take a look at the airport information. Oh, come on. What's the weather like here? We've got VFR conditions, and what does it say? Best runway for wind is runway 16, which means we can fly straight in. That's pretty good. Runway 16. We can use this. That's alright. Exceeda. Let's take a look. What else? Marek, Exceeda. Marek. Here we go. Yep, Marek looks good. Enter. Law. No minimums. I don't care. So, take a look. We should be at 4,000 feet in about 15 miles, and let's go ahead and reduce the altitude, I would say. Vertical speed to this. Reduce. The torques so we don't accelerate too quickly. So how's the guy doing? Do we have any medication for him to suppress the allergic reactions?
Well, Captain DeFragger, our passenger is holding on, but he's looking a bit like a tomato that's been left out in the sun too long. As for medication, we've got some antihistamines in the kit, but I'm not sure if they work on tomatoes. I'll keep an eye on him and let you know if he starts sprouting leaves.
It's not funny, really. You're making fun of somebody who's collapsing.
Oh, Captain DeFragger, I'm sorry if I crossed the line there. I'll focus on ensuring our passenger is as comfortable as possible while you work your magic up front. Let me know if there's anything else I can do to assist.
Yeah, you could just go ahead and take care of this guy because he's gonna need it. Don't be a jerk.
Oh, Captain DeFragger, I'll do my best to keep our passenger from turning into a medical emergency. Let's hope your flying is smoother than his allergic reaction, eh? Oh, Captain DeFragger, I promise to be as charming as your landings are smooth. Let's keep the skies friendly, eh?
Actually, I can't believe it really myself, but today I ordered, and it should arrive tomorrow, I ordered the Bravo, the Honeycomb Bravo throttle quadrant. Very curious about this. How well it works and all that. La Paz approach, Kodiak Delta Foxtrot, frequency change. And not reacting. So I'm going to switch to the tower frequency of our destination airport. Los Cabos Tower Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta, about 10 miles north of the airport for an emergency landing. I have a medical emergency on board. I would like to do a straight in for runway 16 Delta Foxtrot Delta.
Kodiak Papa 2 Delta Foxtrot Delta San Jose Tower, winds 140 at 14, runway 16 clear to land. Emergency services will be standing by.
16 cleared to land, Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta. Prepare for landing. We're on final for the runway.
Cabin crew, take seats for landing. Let's hope Captain DeFragger can land us smoother than his jokes, eh?
I'm gonna fly rest manually because I don't trust the autopilot really. We do have a bit of crosswind, not too much. We're gonna be able to handle it, but there's also quite a lot of turbulence here. And downdrafts. Let's go full flaps. We're going to have to reduce speed a little here. But we're pretty heavy, so we're not going to fly very slowly. Man, what is it with these downdrafts here on approach? I think we have a bit of tailwind, don't we? Oh, freaking mother hell. Let's leave the runway as quickly as possible.
Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta, welcome to San Jose. Contact ground on 118.45.
118.45 for Delta Foxtrot Delta. San Jose ground, Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta, request taxi to general aviation parking. Please keep in mind we have a medical emergency that needs to be taken care of as quickly as possible. Thank you very much. Goodbyes. Take care. Have a nice day. What is going on? There is quite a lot of traffic here.
Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta, taxi to general aviation parking via Echo Golf. Expedite for medical emergency.
Look at the traffic. There are so many planes here, big and small. And this guy's floating over the ground. Interesting stuff. Let's go ahead and drop this guy at the terminal. Okay, let's go to low level. Hey, wait a minute. I did activate the We have landed, people. Get them out of here.
All right, Captain DeFragger, let's get these passengers out before they realize what a miracle it was that we landed safely. I'll handle the announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, we've miraculously landed without any of Captain DeFragger's usual aerobatics. Please gather your belongings and remember, your luggage is like
Thank
a bag
you,
of
extremist.
You don't want to leave it behind. Thank you for flying with us.
I've
And try
had
not to
worse,
trip
but
over
I
each
also
other on
had
the way
better.
out. Have a lovely day.
Okay, so actually we don't want to throw out everybody here from the plane. We did have a medical emergency now, so let's continue the original journey. We wanted to go to this place over here. General Rafael. So let's put that in. Cancel a flight plan. Delete. Enter. And put in direct. Mike. Mike. And what was it? Another Mike. And then a Zulu. Enter. Activate. 199 miles. Okay, so let's talk to ADC. San Jose ground Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta would like to taxi to the active eastbound departure.
Kodiak Delta, Foxtrot Delta, taxi to general aviation, parking at your discretion. Expedite for medical emergency.
We're going to have to start a new flight. Otherwise, St. Tensions is not going to be able to deal with it. Come on, give me a new one. San Jose Kodiak, San Jose ground Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta. Good afternoon. San Jose ground Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta on ramp general aviation parking. Request VFR to Gen Rafael International. Mike Zulu at 15,000. Eastbound departure 8 POB.
Kodiak Delta, Foxtrot Delta, on departure, maintain VFR at or below 15,000 feet. Departure on 119.25, squawk 6434. Expect runway 16.
Maintain VFR at or below 15,000 feet. Departure 119.25, squawk 6434. Expecting runway 16 for takeoff. Delta Foxtrot Delta.
Kodiak Delta, Foxtrot Delta, read back correct.
Request taxi to the active Delta Foxtrot Delta.
Kodiak Delta, Foxtrot Delta, taxi to runway 16 via Kilo Alpha.
16 via Kilo Alpha Delta Foxtrot Delta. So let's take a quick look at the map. And we are here We are here somewhere. Where are we? There we are. So, once we turned around, we're gonna go back to Alpha runway and all the way up to runway 16. Okay. Release of the parking brake and go ahead. The fuel should be still good enough. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, it did work. Wait, what? Yes, I know. I'm sorry.
Hello everyone. Welcome aboard this flight to Mazatlan. I'm Janet, your lead flight attendant, and today we're flying with Captain DeFragger and First Officer Rudy Dude. Joining me are my fellow crew members, Carlos, Maria, Juan, and Sophia. We're all here to make sure your flight is as pleasant as possible, which honestly isn't saying much, considering the captain's flying skills. Our expected flight time is about as long as it takes to watch a couple of movies, so sit back and relax. Now, let's get serious for a moment and talk safety. To fasten your seatbelt, insert the metal fitting into the buckle and pull on the strap to tighten. To release, lift the top of the buckle. It's not rocket science, but if you need help, just ask one of us. In the unlikely event of a sudden loss of cabin pressure, oxygen masks will drop from the panel above your head. Place the mask over your nose and mouth, secure it with the elastic band, and breathe normally. If you're traveling with someone who acts like a child, secure your own mask first before helping them. Your life vest is located under your seat. To use it, pull it over your head, fasten the strap around your waist, and pull to tighten. Inflate it by pulling the red tabs, but only once you're outside the aircraft. If you inflate it inside, you'll look like a giant marshmallow trying to exit a door. Emergency exits are located at the front, middle, and rear of the aircraft.
What's this guy doing?
In case of an emergency, follow the illuminated path to the nearest exit, which might be behind you. But don't worry, we'll guide you to safety, even if the captain can't guide this plane straight. Thank you for your attention, and remember, we're here to make your flight as enjoyable as possible, despite the odds. Now sit back, relax, and let's hope Captain DeFragger can keep us in the air. Cheers!
We're gonna have to make a quick adjustment because I don't want assistances. Was it in the here? Nope. Accessibility, I think. Subtitles, no, thank you. And I really don't want anybody to talk, but that might be an assistance. Or maybe in general, light interface. No. Narrator. Character voices, we don't need those. Safe and back. Okay. So we're gonna use the ATC inside. Say intentions. Are you still there, extremist? Or maybe I should pronounce it extremist. You're following me, for crying out loud. Why didn't you say anything earlier? You're CtrlPhreek. Okay. So, nice. They're back there. And you're flying a caravan. Okay. That's excellent. Yeah, I see. It's a workplay stream, right? But unfortunately, I can't see you. Oh, yes, I can. But you're kind of floating in the air, aren't you? Well, at least I can see our plane. That's pretty good. I hope these stupid AI planes are going to take off at some point. Look at the... I don't know if you see the same thing. Probably not, but there's a whole lot of traffic on this airport right now. AI injected. That's a bit annoying. Nice of you to join. Tube liners. Yes. Nice of you to join in. Very happy. And he's doing a turn around because the other guy is still on the runway, huh? At least this is a little bit of realism here. You know, we're gonna... If this guy isn't moving anytime soon, we're just gonna cheat ourselves to the front of the... to the front of the line. Anybody else coming in? No. The other guy's still on the runway, so I guess this... He could go to the... He could line up on the runway already. You know what? We're just gonna... We're just gonna roll through him. I don't want to wait. Oh yes, absolutely. I forgot. The problem is that my Discord didn't load today. It was stuck in a... It was stuck in a loop. I don't know. Let's see if it works now. I want to close it and restart it. Oh no. Resume. Here we go. Let's see if it does load up now. It is taking forever. I don't know why. It was doing this earlier. I'm gonna just let it load in the background and see if I can join at some point. Let's just go ahead and take off. You ready? Yes, it seems like that. This guy is still on the runway. He's taking his sweet time. Flaps 20. Let's just make a quick sweep of the stuff here. Landing around. Props full forward. Let's go. Oh man. Let's go ahead and take off. Rotate because I'm so heavy. With all these weirdo passengers on board. Oh, my engine just blew. The ITT went up too high. Emergency, emergency. Oh, Christ in heaven.
Stall, stall, stall. Stall.
Oh, sweet mother of God. Okay, I'm gonna have to reload. I'm sorry. You just go ahead and do a couple of circuits, and I'll be with you shortly.
Contact ground on 118.45.
Oh, dude. That's one of the few things about the Kodiak that's really a little bit annoying. I really, truly love this plane, but it is a little bit difficult to handle. What was the Mike Sierra Delta? I'm gonna start with a running engine just to be as quick as possible. Enter. My Discord's still loading. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. Oh, it blew the engine again. You know what? I'm gonna take a caravan for now. I don't know what's wrong. Right, this didn't happen before. Where's the caravan? At least this thing is not gonna blow up on me, I hope. Departure, runway 16. Here we go. I haven't had in a while. 2 blow-ups in a couple of minutes. The problem with a Kodiak actually is the fact that it wasn't meant for 2024, and in some for some reason the automatic startup procedures that you have in Flight Simulator, they simply won't work with a Kodiak, and it's going to blow up the engine. So take a look. All of this looks pretty good. I'm not too familiar with the Caravan. I haven't been flying it for a long time, so we have flaps down, I presume. Yes, we do. Just let's go ahead and start. $50 or 60 and rotate, and we're in the air.
Hello everyone. Welcome aboard this flight with our esteemed captain, Captain DeFragger, and the first officer, Rudy Dude. I'm Janet, your lead flight attendant, and joining me today are my fellow crew members, Carlos, Maria,
Funnily
Juan,
enough,
and
it
Sophia.
kind of still has a flight plan.
On this fine A320, which is basically a flying bus, but with fewer stops and no legroom. Now let's talk safety, because apparently that's important. First, the seatbelt.
Raise
It's like
the
a hug from the
flaps.
airline, but less comforting. To fasten it, just insert the metal thingy into the other metal thingy until it clicks. To unfasten, lift the flap. It's like magic, but with more metal. In the unlikely event that we run out of air up here, oxygen masks will drop down. Place it over your nose and mouth and breathe normally. If you're not sure what normally means, just pretend you're not panicking. For those of you who can't swim, we've got life vests under your seats.
Okay, we're at 2,000 feet. I'm going to set the autopilot for a minute because I need to enter the flight plan, or at least our destination,
If you inflate it inside, you'll look
which
like a giant
is
marshmallow. Emergency exits are located here, here, and here. If you can't see them, just follow the people who look like they know what they're doing. All right. right. That's it for the safety
Mike,
briefing. Sit
Mike,
back, relax, and
Mike.
if you see Captain DeFragger
Come
walking
on.
around, remind him which way is up.
And
Thank you for
Zulu.
flying with us, and enjoy the flight.
Oh! Actually, Discord loaded, finally, after I don't know how many minutes. Just a second, I'm gonna finish this here. Activate, and we're gonna fly using GPS. And let's say we're gonna choose an altitude of about 10,000 feet. And vertical speed to 1200, that should be good enough. Yaw damper on, nav on. And we're good to go. So let's go to Discord. You're on my server, you say? There are new guys here. Hi there. CtrlPhreek. How do you do? I'm gonna have to turn down the volume of the simulator because otherwise I'm not gonna be able to hear you. Volume 30 would be good enough. So, how did you end up here? Did you see the announcement on the forums? Okay. It's good that it works, because sometimes there's nobody showing up despite the fact that I have announced the flight. Quite a bit of, quite ahead of time. So how'd you do? Excellent. Oh, look at that. I don't have that on the Kodiak. I don't know why, but I'm getting the rectangles here. Maybe I should be flying the Caravan more often. I really do like the Kodiak, but it's not optimized for 2024 yet. Okay. You are the. I presume that your voice. You sound like a guy that's not 20 anymore. Okay. 70. For crying out loud, okay. But that's one of the fun things about flight simulators. You have people from all ages, really, because there are games where there are games for younger people, and I mean I'm 47, so you're way ahead of me, but it's pretty likely that you're going to meet people who are older, because flight simulators are not necessarily for young people. Mm-hmm. Have you been a real world pilot? Okay. Neither am I. I've flown gliders when I was younger and when my eyesight was still better, but not today. Yes, they are, and they don't take up that much time, because right here where I live, you'd have to if I wanted to still do the glider, except for the problems that I have with the eyesight, you'd have to put in quite a lot of time. There are flying clubs here in the area, and unless you have your own plane and some means to store it away, at some point you're going to have to join a club so you can use their planes, and they want you to do all kinds of work for the club, which makes sense, of course, but it is so time consuming that it's not going to work for me. I've got a family and other hobbies, not only flight simulators, so. But simulators are not bad, so it's the next best solution. So did you read the what I'm doing here with this tour? Do you know what this is about? Yeah, exactly. Okay. Funnily enough, there are quite a lot of people joining these tours that I do who didn't read anything. They're just joined. They saw it on the on the forums or somewhere else, and then they join in and have no clue what's going on. So I appreciate everyone who's actually reading the information. But yes, this is a tour that's trying to explore the western coastline of the Americas, and it's pretty fun. What is this? Oh man, I thought I had a spot on my display here, but it's a massive speck on the caravan windshield. Crying out loud. So, may I ask where you're living? In which I presume that you're from the United States. Yes, I do. I've been there. I have the
Dear guests,
one
it's
time.
Janet here again.
Oh, I need to
We've
turn
just
her
climbed
off.
to a height where the air is less like soup and more like, well, air. So you can now use your electronic devices. Feel free to connect to our
Wait a
onboard
second,
Wi-Fi,
please.
which is about as
I need to disable the ADC. So, come again? I did take off, yes, of course. Okay. Yes, I did take off. So yes, I was in Florida a couple of times in my life. And Hawaii. Okay. So how did you end up there? Is that your Okay. Okay, I see. I've never been to Hawaii, unfortunately. But I do know Florida a bit. I've once been in Pensacola. That was in the last time that I was in Florida is about 20 years ago. But the time that I was there, it was in the year 2004. And it was during hurricane season. This is a bit of a, what do you call it? A traumatized experience because it was during hurricane season, and we were staying at a hotel in Pensacola, which was right at the beach. I don't know. It was some kind of Best Western hotel, and there was this hurricane which was called Ivan, and it basically, we were not affected by it. We actually left the hotel, I think 2 or 3 days before the hurricane made landfall. But quite horrifyingly, the hotel that we stayed in was devastated by the hurricane just 3 days after we left it. And I was so freaking lucky that we got away in time when we did, because otherwise, we did experience some of the effects of the hurricane later on when we drove up to Boston. I think that's where we started, where we ended the journey, and there was severe weather going on all the way. And that was just hilarious. I mean, looking at what happened and what could have happened to us if we have stayed there. So that was an interesting experience in Florida. Absolutely. And I would expect that it's only getting worse and not better, at least currently. Last couple of years have been pretty catastrophic in that regard. Yeah, so Orlando, that's nice. Do you happen to know where I am from? Did I write that somewhere? Yes, I am. Oh, you were quick. Are you doing time lapse? Okay, right, I see. We're down there. So there's not a whole lot to see. What I really like to do is, this is one of the things that are extraordinary about the flight simulators, 2020 and 24, that you can actually go ahead and explore the landscapes and the different climate zones and stuff like that. Because it's, I mean, I've been using simulators for ages, but this is the first time where you can actually use it to explore the world. That's awesome. And that's the reason why I'm doing these tours, because it really makes sense now too. And you can go ahead and just see the sights and see all the different zones that the planet has to offer. We don't have any. There is no cargo on it. My Kodiak was full with all kinds of people. Oh, there's a medical emergency on my plane. What the hell? I didn't see that. Okay. So that's the guy who has had an allergic reactions to nuts. Is that you? Did you sit in my plane here? No. Have you heard of bush divers? Okay, I see. Okay. Okay, I see. I have joined the bush divers VA a couple of days ago. They have a pretty cool system. Oh, you're watching my videos. I am honored. I didn't expect anybody to watch, really. Yes, okay, I see. Well, that's one of the things that I mean, it's not really very interesting what people do with flight simulators most of the time, but it's nice that somebody's watching. I didn't get that. Come again, please. Excellent. That would be a great honor and pleasure, really. Okay. Thank you. CtrlPhreek. How did you come to get that? How did you... CtrlPhreek. Are you a control freak in real life? Or is it just, I don't know, came up with that? By whom? Okay, I see. Okay. Yeah, it's the other way around with us, with my wife. She's the control freak. But somebody has to be in control. Otherwise it's gonna be chaos. So you've been flying 2020 as well. I mean, I'm going to be honest here. You're an old guy, so there's a good chance that you've been flying simulators for quite a long time. Did you? Yes, I do. I was still little, but I do remember it. Okay. Okay, that's great. I did as well. Okay. Yeah, let me think. I think I started the first. It's difficult to call it a simulator because it was a kind of an action game. But the first flight simulator that I came in contact with was on an Amiga from my uncle, and I think I was like 6 or 7 years old. I'm not sure. It was in the mid-80s. I don't know. But the first one that I owned was Flight Simulator version 4, which came out in 88, I think. And that was a revelation. The one with where you can actually go ahead and create your own planes or kind of modify them, and that was hilarious. Have you seen? I was the other day. I was trying to look for whales. I'm not sure if it's a seasonal thing, but in Baja California, somewhere at some place, I think you can, at least in the real life, in the real world, you have the opportunity to watch whales, but only in 2024, I guess. I haven't. That's the only simulator that I know of that has animals in it, which is it's not really necessary for immersion, but they did it anyway. Oh, I did quite a lot, actually, occupying runways. They were simply sitting in the middle of the runway, some kind of deer. But I haven't seen any in 2020, actually. Never, ever. Okay. Yeah, you've got nothing but time, man. Well, at some point in the future, I'm going to do that as well, I guess. If there's still the flight simulator. I hope they didn't break their own neck with 2024. I mean, it's in many ways, it's still a very unfinished product, unfortunately. I hope people are going to stick with it. Yes, we are. And I think I bought it too early. But anyway, yeah. I can absolutely understand everybody. I still have 2020 as well. I'm not using it because I like to just explore the features, and it's not that bad, at least in free flight, but it does have a lot of bugs and quirks still left to be ironed out. Yeah, it took quite a long time until 2020 was stable and nice. So it's probably going to take the same time for them to clean up this mess here. The Grand Caravan does not have a radar. Oh, yes, it does have a radar dome. Okay. I mean, the weather is pretty good, but matter. Turn on traffic. Are you familiar with the G1000? Mm-hmm. Okay. So do you have an idea how to activate the... I mean, the radar here, it's for weather, so you can identify some severe weather situations, but is it activated automatically on the Caravan? Because I don't see any. I can activate it on the Kodiak because it has a slightly different G1000 implementation, but here I can't see it because this is all deactivated. Okay, so we've got the topo maps, that's alright. Traffic should be visible. Oh, there we go. Weather radar. No, I would like to turn it on. Standby weather. Oh, there we go. That looks good. So we don't have anything to really... There is no bad weather up ahead. It's nice and clear, but vertical. Okay, you can switch between vertical and horizontal. That's nice. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Okay. Show me the flight plan. The weather stuff. Yeah, it's basically what it does is that you get an overlay of on the map which shows you cloud formations, and using the radar you can make out which cloud formations are denser or less dense, and depending on the density, I think it's trying to judge whether you have heavy weather and rain and stuff like that. So, and the heavy rain and the dense cloud formations are going to be painted red, so you can identify where you should not fly into. And that's pretty helpful, actually, and it works quite well in the simulator. At least I did work well with the Kodiak. Do you happen to know nice aviation books where one could make tours out of? You've probably seen that I have created tours from the book of the Flight of Passage and Flight of the Cannibal Queen, but there might be other books out there. Okay. I presume there are, but to find them. Did you happen to read Flight of Passage? Okay. I mean, considering that you have nothing but time, it would be a good it would be a good thing to do, because the book is really very, very nice. It's basically a story of two teenagers who flew who restored an old Piper Cub, and they flew from New Jersey to California in 6 days, and it was in the year 1966. And it's something of like a coming of age story. And they have a dad who is very much into aviation, and he's kind of hovering above the boys and trying to control them, but they don't want that. It's a bit of a family drama, but they're also very weird and nice characters in the whole story. And you can actually, because they were able to write down, or the guy who wrote the book, which was the older brother, I think, he tried to replicate the flight in the book and put in some descriptions where they flew and who they met. So I was able to create a flight plan that sort of followed all the waypoints that these guys flew, and it's quite a nice challenge if you do that without any instruments, because these guys didn't have any. They didn't have a radio, they didn't have a transponder, they didn't have anything. So only their charts, landmarks, charts, a watch, or maybe a stopwatch, I don't remember. And it was just manual flying, purely VFR, and it was awesome. That's something that's not even possible today anymore, unfortunately. It is. I can highly recommend it. And it's actually pretty cheap. You can get it like for a couple of bucks. I don't know if you use something like Kindle or any other ebook reader. Unfortunately, in Germany you cannot get the Kindle version, but you can get it in the United States, so it's very easy to get a copy. I don't know why they don't offer this in Germany, but don't ask why. It's Amazon. I have a physical copy, but I wanted to have it on my Kindle, and I'm not able to get it, which is a pity. There you are. What about my fuel? Fuel quantity, okay. I'm burning way too much fuel, I think. I'm not really familiar with the Grand Caravan, but in many aspects it should be pretty similar to the Kodiak, because they're sharing many traits, really. Yeah, in many ways they are. So, since you've I'm sorry, I'm always mentioning this, but since you have so much time in your hands, I presume that you also watch YouTube videos of real pilots like Ryan Farron, exactly. The one and only. Yes. No, I have a subscription as well. I actually, I was curious about his, he's got this e-learning course for the Kodiak. I bought it when it was discounted. It was I think $25 or something, and I was a little bit disappointed because it basically is nothing but a recycling of his regular videos with some additions when it comes to using the G1000, for example. But it's I mean, it's worth a couple of bucks. It's okay if you get it in a discounted version, but I wouldn't want to pay $50 for it. So he was kind of lazy a little bit with this, because the work he didn't put a lot of work into it, unfortunately. But I do really like his videos. It's awesome what he does. Absolutely. That's basically the reason why I joined the Bush Divers VA, because they're doing stuff over at PNG, and that's it's quite challenging. And it's also, I think it's a nice idea of him to show a bit of culture, actually. I'm mostly interested in his flying stuff, but it's also nice to see that what's going on the ground and what he's doing for the people there. I mean, I'm not a religious guy, and I don't necessarily agree on the methods that they're on the methods that trying to excuse me? Okay. No, bringing the gospel to everyone and basically forcing it on these people, that's questionable. But taking that aside, it's still, I mean, flying out some people who are sick or bringing them some really useful stuff like it. Yes, absolutely. Exactly. And that's very commendable. It's one of the few things that I don't really like about the Caravan is the view. The Kodiak has bigger windows, so if you look to the side in the Caravan, you have to go down, and that's one of the few things that I don't like about it. It does have a bigger windshield, on the other hand, so it does have some advantages and disadvantages. And there's also a lot of things that you can actually click. I like that, if I can click things in planes. There's my oxygen. Put in the sun visor. Not that I need it, but it's nice to have. The last time that I actually flew a plane that I flew in a plane was 5 years ago, because 6 years ago. And most of the time, if we do vacations, I have built my own camper van. And nowadays, when we go on vacation and visit some foreign places, and we use our little camper bus. So I haven't had the opportunity to fly for quite a long time. in a real plane. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that was a regular commercial line flight, right? Okay. The plane is constantly rocking from left to right, very slowly. Yes, it is. It might have to do with the weather, maybe, because we've got crosswind, 10 knots of crosswind from the north, I would say, but maybe the autopilot is constantly trying to adjust for the crosswind. Mm-hmm. Okay. But you do have real weather activated? Yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so there's... It absolutely, it would. It would be. But there are quite a lot of people, unless you are doing... If I'm planning on doing a new... That's true. But also, if I'm planning on doing a tour which is called the Orient Express tour, which will go through Europe. It's already, the flight plan is there and all that. I need to announce it on the forums at some point. But this kind of tour is probably, I'm probably going to put in a good weather because it doesn't make sense. It's a tour that's very low and slow. I'm going to use a Cub for this, and if I want to do sightseeing, if the weather is too bad, then I'm going to switch to a different weather setting, because otherwise, I mean, I don't need to fly low and slow when it's rainy, or if there's too much haze and all that. So, but in situations like these where I have a plane that's actually able to fly in bad weather, then I'm always going to be using real weather. Everything else would be cheating. That's true. Hmm. Yeah, but it's interesting that it's doing the same thing for you and me, because, I mean, obviously it seems to have something to do with the environment, because otherwise it wouldn't make any sense. I'm getting sick here. I should look somewhere else, not on the horizon. Yes. It's rocking. That's one of the... I've never had any problem with, I don't know, with height, with high altitudes, or look. I mean, if I'm flying in a plane, I'm not susceptible to anxiety about height or anything like that. I don't care. And if I'm on a boat and it rocks a lot, I don't care. I'm not getting sick. But there is one thing in this world that does make me sick, and that is trying to use VR headsets. It just doesn't work. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the discrepancy between what my eyes see and what my body actually feels. I did try to use a VR headset with flight simulators, and it just doesn't work. I'm about to puke after a couple of minutes, and that's very unfortunate because it's pretty cool to see things in 3 dimensions, and the immersion is very nice, but I just can't do it. And I know quite a lot of people who have problems with this, but it's just the way. I mean, it's. Excuse me? Yes, maybe not. But I mean, on the other hand, it's also pretty impractical because all the things that you usually use, like a keyboard and maybe a mouse. Mouse I might be able to figure out because I know where my hands have to go to use it. But putting on a headset basically means that you're going to shut out the entire real world. You can have little windows at some point where you can look down and see your keyboard maybe, but it's it's impractical if you need to use so many appliances that you have around on your desk. So let's see, what is this? This is the inertial separator. Maybe I should be using the caravan more often, until the SimWorks Studios have actually published the 2024 version of the Kodiak. There's the parking brake. Oh, I can pull. It's a payware add-on, yes, it is. And it is really, really, really nice. I enjoy it a whole lot. Unfortunately, it's a bit it's a bit sensitive to misusing it, because the engine is the main problem. If you have to have you need to have a certain procedure. If you're not going to stay with this procedure, you're going to blow up the engine. And it's actually like this in the real world, as if you're watching the Ryan videos, and he's talking about this as well, because the Kodiak is just a little bit it's got character, you could say. So the Caravan, I think it's not that sensitive to mistreating it. Not that I knew of. What is this? Static source drain, okay. Must be closed. It's one of the better planes in FS 2024. Many of the planes that are being shipped with it are quite unfinished and have a lot of things that are in the cockpit don't work, but the Caravan looks pretty good in that regard. Yeah, well, as long as it doesn't fall from the sky. Okay, that's the ADF. I can see land. We're approaching the coast. Let's see, what kind of approaches do it? Are you using little nav map? Of course. Yeah, well, there are still people out. You would not possibly imagine this, but there are still people out there who don't know this software. Which I find pretty ridiculous if you're into flight simming, because I mean, this is the there's nothing else like it. Yes, and I did a little bit of a donation for this. After years of using it, I thought it would be time to donate some bucks, because it's just it's enormous. I mean, it's yes. I don't know why someone would. Yeah, really. I don't know what's wrong with this guy, but he's giving it away. He's probably. It really takes a, I don't know, an utterly generous person to create something like this and give it away for free. This is just astonishing. So let's take a look. What do we have here? 27. Okay, still the other way. Yes, it makes sense. I could do I haven't been doing instrument approach. I did instrument approaches, but not real ILS ones. If you're familiar with this, you might be able to help me setting this up. There are procedures, of course. Okay. Well, okay. Well, let's try, actually. Which one might be what's the difference between the Y and Z LS approaches? Is that the starting point, or? Okay. Okay. So there are war stations or waypoints, basically, where you can see. Yep. With that, I am familiar with the straight run-ins, but I would like to do one of those real ILS approaches. Yep. I did. Okay. We've got a couple of those of these initial approach fixes. There are several routes that you could choose from. Okay. Yeah, I guess at some point. So what we could do is they all have designations, they all have codes, and you can look on the map. I think these might be. Hmm. 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 I was actually thinking about looking at looking at the little nav map, because we have all the waypoints that are in these procedures. You can also see them in little nav map. For example, the R004. Most probably, yes. No, it's not. For most of the time, it's not really necessary. I mean, we're still using a sim here. This is not. It only goes so far for me. Otherwise, it's going to be tedious and bureaucratic. But still. Yep. The synthetic. Yeah, it's I think they're calling it the synthetic vision, which is actually pretty nice if you have bad weather. It helps quite a lot. Yep. Sometimes I do. Yep. Sometimes I do. But it only works for bigger airports, because some of the smaller ones, for example, on PNG, if I'm flying there, and some of the smaller airfields that don't even have an IVAO code, then there's a good chance that they're not being represented in the Garmin system. So then you're going to have to do it anyway, real visual. But it's still pretty cool. Yes, quite many of them, I guess. Okay, well, I'm gonna give up here. Let's do a visual approach. Procedures. So let's take the visual 27 and straight in. Yep. We can actually go ahead and activate it. Ready. And then we have our nice. This is something that I found out only recently, that I could actually. I was for a while I was using an add-on which is called, I don't know, I de-installed it. Some kind of software that you can get for free, which is going to add another module in the simulator where it's easier to select all these approaches and all that, and you're going to get the information that you need. For example, the altitudes of each waypoint. It's easier to see, but once I understood how you can see it in the Garmin system, then I ditched the add-ons, because I really, if it's not necessary, I don't like to stuff the simulator with all kinds of add-ons, because it's not going to make things better. So 3,224 feet, but it's going to take. There's our top of descent right there. Then we can start the actual approach. It's the time, or it's still it's getting pretty late here in Germany now. It's about 11:30. But I did have the opportunity to do a little nap in the afternoon. Yesterday I was visiting a concert with my wife, and we got home like 2 a.m. in the morning because we had to drive quite a lot in the evening. But they did let me sleep in the afternoon for a little while at least. "13 knots of crosswind. What do you have?" That's weird, isn't it? I mean, you're like, it's just 12 miles. It should be basically the same, and I'm getting 13 knots of crosswind here. What the heck? That doesn't really make sense. I have for my crosswind for the wind display, I have option number 1. I don't know if you have a different option, because then you're gonna get different numbers, I guess, like this one here. Okay. Okay. On the nose? What the hell? It doesn't make sense. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna be able to land. Yes. Yeah. Where is the little nav? There it is. just reading the. I'm also on the Discord server from Swimworks Studios and trying to find out what they're doing with the Kodiak, but unfortunately they have kind of they put the focus on some other plane. I've been waiting for this for so long. These guys should really put some priority on the Kodiak. This is their old and trusted, really nice plane. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So, how about it? Oh, I forgot. We're at the top of descent right there pretty soon, I guess. Let's see. Let's zoom in. We've already passed it, I guess. So let's, I think it should work using the approach. Blah blah, where is it? In the, here, there it is. But now I have to do it manually, I guess. Let's go ahead. And we need an altitude of, what was it, 3,200. Let's put in vertical to about here and reduce the throttle. Okay. That's nice. Say hello from me. Are you on a different Discord server, you guys? I think he mentioned it at some point. Hmm? Okay, I see. I'll take a look at it. Oh, look at that. My caravan is bouncing around. There's got to be some nice turbulence here. I hope they fix this guy on the stretcher here. Otherwise, he's gonna fly around in the plane. This is quite a lot of movement. way too high here to lose some altitude real fast. To extend the turn here a little bit. There is definitely a little bit of turbulence going on here. It's quite shaky. We're on the ground, not necessarily the best landing this world has ever seen, but it's, we didn't crash, that's okay. Yeah, that is excellent. Yeah, the approach is somewhat, it's quite a little, it's lively, let's call it that. And there's something, excuse me? Yeah. Yeah. The thing, there's one other thing about the caravan that I don't know why it is doing this, but if I'm using rudder pedals, and if I'm hitting both, if I'm braking on both sides, it's going to, I don't know, it's going to rock as well. It's doing fun stuff. It's behaving very funnily. I don't know why. It's shaking itself up so badly that if I'm not careful, it's basically gonna, I think it's gonna turn over at some point and just end up in a heap of trash metal. Okay. I think I like the Kodiak better. At least when it comes to approaches and behavior on the ground, I think I like the Kodiak better. Yeah. Absolutely. I think it's worth it. They put a lot of effort into this. So, how about I'm lazy today? I'm just going to use the automatic shut-off procedure. Get out of the plane. Take a look at it from the outside. Yeah, they're basically, at least from the outside, they look very, very similar. The performance is quite different in some aspects, but they were meant basically for the same thing, which is bush flying in conditions that are not necessarily meant for planes like, I don't know, a TBM or something like this. Where are you? Oh, you're approaching, okay. On final. Touching down. It seems like I need a... Is there a way to run? Yes, there is. I'm gonna get run over by a fuel truck, I'm sure. This is also one of the... It's quite nice and fun to be able to walk outside of your plane, but I would rather have them concentrate on things that are that have to do with the actual simulation part, not this casual gaming stuff here for the Xbox guys. You'd okay. Experimental. Mm-hmm. Gemini. Google Gemini. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm not so sure. You're probably I guess it's some fake feature, right? We'll see. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm leaving behind skid marks. What the heck? Are you trying to get into my plane? Are you stealing my plane here? Okay. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. Just that? No. No. I am using, and I'm not on a beta, I'm just oh! Third person view, something like that. Okay. Okay. Third person, there's nothing like that, but let's set yeah, you go ahead. External system, external view. External view, free look. Okay. Yeah, I can see it. I do have that, and I'm actually using it, but only if I'm inside the plane, because then you can look at it from the outside. But I didn't know that it works for... Nope, it doesn't. For me, it only works if I'm in the plane. Maybe the reason is that I'm... What kind of keys are you using to move your character? Are you the WASD guy? Kind of walk around stuff? Yes. Okay. So my shortcut is S for external view, so it's probably... There's a double... Cancel settings. Let's take something else for this. Yes, there's a channel for this. Excellent. Let's see. Maybe Shift S. That might do the trick. No, not yet. Weird. Nope, nope. It really only works if I am inside the plane. Then I can switch to this external view. That's the regular external view. Let me get out of the plane. Nope. Oh no. Weird. Okay, let me take a look at the screenshot. There's the gallery. Did you put it into the gallery section? Well, on the server there is a text channel which is called gallery, basically. Should be in the list. Well, I at least I actually I do believe you. Maybe it's a matter of if you have the. Do you use the beta actually? Because that is something that I would not do myself because it's unstable as it is. So I don't. Then it's actually probably going to be an alpha. The beta is going to be an alpha. You left your plane running. You're burning fuel and basically destroying our environment. And it's costing you like $1,000 an hour to run this plane. You got to be a rich man. At least that's what they say in bush divers. When I fly a Kodiak, I have rented a Kodiak inside the VA because I cannot afford my own jets. Okay, let me take a look. I can't see it yet. Nope. It's not there yet. Do you have to actually send it? Now he's gone. He left the server. Here we go. Yes, go ahead. Ah, now it works. Now I can see it. Okay, yes, that looks like an external view. Not bad, actually. I mean, it's not really necessary, but it's nice that you have the option. Now you're gone. You've left the server again. Discord is a weird thing, really. I'm not kicking you. I am not, I swear. No, well. Okay. So it's curious that Gemini would tell you that this is an experimental feature. I cannot for the life of me see anything experimental about this, but you know, it's nice to have the option, I guess. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Yeah, it's nice to have the external view. If that's true for kind of for photo opportunities, it works quite well. So that yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, so it's midnight. I'm gonna go get some sleep. That was a very nice flight. Thanks for your for flying along. That was fun. That was good. Excellent. That would be nice. Some regulars. I had what was his name? Skinflints. If you've watched some of these videos, there's another guy who likes to fly along. Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. That's very nice. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to talk about this another time. I was actually trying to prove to people that doing content creation stuff in our time is a difficult endeavor, really. But that's for another time. So take care. Have a nice evening, I guess. I would say that it's late afternoon, right? In Florida. Dinner time. Okay, so have a nice dinner, and we'll see you soon. That's very nice. Take care. Bye-bye.